Good evening, everybody, and welcome in here on the Buckeye Racing Network. I'm Tyler Bentley. Alongside me in the booth is Tim Henderson. Tim, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. We are live from the Bristol Motor Speedway, of course, the dirt version here, with the League of Outlaws IMCA style modified division. It's the second race of their championship season. James Murphy and brother Jared Murphy at the top of the timing chart at an 18.30 and an 18.35. Tucker Halliday right there as well at an 18.35. First time the Buckeye Racing Network has put on a broadcast here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. So really excited for the racing action here tonight. 13 cars logged into tonight's race session, and we're about ready to roll into tonight's qualifying. And I'll tell you, just as a side note, last week's event, the Spring Nationals for the League of Outlaws, what an absolute awesome event. Can't say enough from the admin to the admins and everything for putting that event on. Had awesome racing, and of course, the big payout for the race winners. So again, just shout out to the League of Outlaws for that Spring Nationals event. As our practice session comes to a close, we're going to roll on to qualifying. We're taking a look at, I believe this is Julian Valadez in car number 99 as he works his way onto the racetrack to start his qualifying effort. Trevor Doyle, Aiden Schulte, Thomas Levister, Trevor Williams, Tucker Halliday, Matt Pridgeon all on the racetrack as well. Let's see who sets tonight's quick time. Valadez rounding out a turn number 4 to the checkered flag. Well, not to the checkered flag, just a complete lap number 1. Let's see what sort of time he runs. An 18.55 on lap 1. Trevor Doyle in 18.63. Aiden Schulte in 18.96. Trevor Williams just ran an 18.58 as more times populate. Valadez completing lap 2. See if he picks up. And he did, picked up to an 18.49. Nice qualifying effort for Valadez. Joshua Dyer in car 47 starts his qualifying effort here. As there's only a minute and a half left to qualifying, so all these drivers got to get times in. Richard Murtaugh and James Murphy also on the racetrack. Dyer comes across complete lap 1, goes to the top of the board. At an 18.48 does Joshua Dyer. A.J. Hunsinger also on the racetrack. Dyer completes the second lap. And he does pick up to an 18.46, so good lap there. Let's pick up James Murphy in car 65 as he completes his first lap. He's going to run an 18.59, good for 7th quick. Across the line to complete lap 2. James picks up to an 18.53, good for 3rd. Richard Murtaugh, an 18.61, good for 8th. A.J. Hunsinger, an 18.69, lap 1, good for 11th. A.J.'s second lap, does he pick up there? He does, to an 18.65. Murtaugh, an 18.51, good for 3rd quick. Awesome job here from everybody tonight. Joshua Dyer going to be our quick qualifier at an 18.46. Again, if you're just tuning in for the first time with us here on the Buckeye Racing Network, welcome in. Let us know in the chat how your evening's going, if you're pulling for anybody specifically. And always hit that subscribe button so you know each and every time we go live here on the network. Heat race number 1 is gritting up behind the pace truck. Row number 1 is going to be Joshua Dyer and Richard Murtaugh Jr. Row 2 is going to be Tucker Halliday and Jared Murphy. Row 3 is going to be Thomas Levister and A.J. Hunsinger. And row 4 is going to have one car that's going to be Aiden Schulte. 8 laps it
Man,
is. Go ahead, Tim.
I was just gonna say, man, this race is gonna be awesome, especially when we get ready for the feature. I just did a race, Bristol Dirt, not too long ago. Of course, not in these cars, but uh, in the trucks. And once it slicks up, boy oh boy, you can run anywhere, but you gotta be extremely careful.
Absolutely. Really excited. Like I said, this is the Buckeye Racing Network's first trip here, first broadcast from the Bristol Motor Speedway on the dirt configuration. So, really happy to be here tonight with the League of Outlaws, putting on this show for everybody at home. 7 cars going to be here in Heat 1, but nobody has to worry about being left out of the feature. Everybody's going to race in the A main in just a little bit. We're just going to have 2 quick heats and a warm-up, and actually we may not even have a warm-up. We'll roll right into feature action here as the field bunches up 2 by 2 by 2. Pace truck should peel off this time. Dyer accelerates. Green flag goes in the air for heat race number 1. Going to be side by side, Murtaugh and Halliday out of turn 2. Murtaugh with a run on the outside down the back straightaway. He's solo second. Now Tucker Halliday and Jared Murphy side by side. Levister and Hunsinger side by side. Schulte tailing. Tucker Halliday trying to fit in, and he just barely does as he makes contact with A.J. Hunsinger. Hunsinger had a nose there. Be careful, more contact through 3 and 4. Hunsinger probably not too happy with Tucker Halliday at this exact moment. He's going to slide across the nose, take that position. Levister was able to work by both of them. He's up into 4th.
Crossover by Tucker, tries to slide up, realizes it's not enough room.
Man, they're making
contact, still contact.
Oh my goodness. Halliday, what? AJ. And AJ was hard into the wall. They both gather it back up, 6th and 7th on the racetrack. Aiden Schulte moved by both of them after that happened.
Oh no.
4 laps down, 4 to go in this first heat. And we're starting to heat up front here. Our top 3 have gotten pretty close together. That's Joshua Dyer, Richard Murtaugh, and Jared Murphy.
AJ had to pit. The tires were pointed away from each other.
Unfortunate break there. I know he's probably not too happy with Tucker Halliday. So Joshua Dyer hit the wall there coming out of turn 2. Murtaugh's going to run the bottom and try to make the move for the race lead out of turn 4. Dyer with the run on the outside. That's going to prevail down the front straightaway. Now Jared Murphy's going to try to follow him through. Murtaugh slams the door out of turn number 2. Murphy's going to turn underneath and try to work on the inside portion of the racetrack. Murtaugh's going to get the run out of turn 4. White flag in the air just one more time around. Can Dyer hold off Murtaugh and Murphy? Richard Murtaugh, big time run through 3 and 4. Not quite enough. Josh Dyer's going to win heat number 1. Richard Murtaugh 2nd. Jared Murphy 3rd. Thomas Leverster 4th. Tucker Halliday 5th. Aiden Schulte is going to be 6th. And A.J. Hunsinger 7th. Heat race number 2. Row number 1 is going to be Julian Valadez and James Murphy. Row 2 is going to be Donnie Battiest and Trevor Williams. Row number 3 is going to be Trevor Doyle and Matt Pridgeon. Eight laps of distance. 6 cars going to duke it out here in this second heat. All right, Tim. Well, We got, I think, one more lap of pacing, but how about you bring us to the green flag here once we do get going for heat number 2?
Alrighty, bud. Looks like a couple new paint schemes for some of these guys. Doyle looks like he's got like a little bit of a camo looking pattern. I like it.
Yeah, I believe that's the the special League of Outlaws paint scheme on that 024 here tonight.
Pace cars off. Julian fires. They're dead even going into one. Oh, moves
big
up the track.
contact.
James and Trevor Doyle. Trevor Doyle's around. We got a yellow.
Wow, I was not expecting that. Valadez, had a big issue there into turn 1. We see, we focus at the top of the screen on the 99. He tries to enter on the bottom. The car just doesn't turn. You can see his wheels turned left, and it's just not turning left. He makes contact with James Murphy. Both of those cars hit the outside wall. Valadez keeps the wheel cranked left and turns right down in front of Trevor Doyle. Doyle had nowhere to go. And that car spins to a stop right there in the middle of 1 and 2. He does get the ship righted and going back the right direction, but yellow flag was displayed in that time, so. I'll tell you, Julian's still on the racetrack, and the left front is hurt on that race car. Meanwhile, Donnie Battiest, he moves up to second. Trevor Williams is going to be third. Matt Pridgeon's going to be fourth. Trevor Doyle back in fifth. James Murphy on the pit lane in sixth. Looks like Valadez is going to bring it down this time and turn over the race lead to Donnie Battiest in car 67.
Yeah, just looking at the replay over again, and it looks like he just dipped that left front over into like the apron. What would be the hitting the apron, and it just shoots up the track. He crosses over his arms in the cockpit, trying to keep it off of James. Just slides through the slick, and there's just no traction to help slow him down.
Yeah, absolutely a tough break for both Julian Valadez and James Murphy to start off our second heat. Lights go out on the pace truck. We're going to be just 2 rows of 2 for the restart. Well, James Murphy is going to rejoin. He took some repairs, so he is coming back out to rejoin the field. But car not handling the greatest, it looks like. It didn't want to turn through 1 and 2, so we'll see if he's able to even navigate the remaining laps here. As green flag goes back in the air, we get the restart here. Donnie Batty is going to lead us down into turn 1. Matt Pridgeon and Trevor Doyle is going to be side by side. Doyle with the run around the outside. Same for Trevor Williams. Battius is going to continue to run the inside. Let's see if Williams and Doyle get the good run out of 4. Trevor Williams does. He's going to... Oh, my, he missed the corner. Williams and Doyle make good contact. They both right the ship.
But Doyle's got big problems in the rear.
Yeah, I think something in the rear end's let loose on Trevor Doyle. Yeah, I think the whole rear end got shifted to the left big time when he made that contact, but he's going to try to continue to carry on regardless. Matt Pridgeon trying to hunt down Donnie Battius. About an 0.8 of a second gap separate these two. Well, that last time around, Pridgeon was a couple hundredths of a second faster. We'll keep an eye on it. See Doyle still trying to maneuver his way around with the eel-handling race car he has. Back up front to Donnie, and that time they switched fast laps. That time Battius was 200ths of a second faster than Pridgeon, so. Doyle decides to bring that car down the pit lane. Only 3 cars left. White flag goes in the air for Donnie.
Looks like all 3 cars have moved up against the cushion. As I say that, Donnie runs the middle.
And he's going to take the checkered flag here in heat number 2. Matt Pridgeon's going to be second. Trevor Williams is going to bring it home in third. Trevor Doyle, Julian Valadez, James Murphy, 4th, 5th, and 6th finishing in the pit lane. All right, we're going to roll right into feature action. Our starting lineup for the feature, it's going to be Josh Dyer and Donnie Battius, row 1. Row 2 is going to be Richard Murtaugh and Matt Pridgeon. Row 3 is going to be Jared Murphy and Trevor Williams. Row 4 is going to be Thomas Levister and Trevor Doyle. Row 5 is going to be Tucker Halliday and James Murphy. Row 6 is going to be Aiden Schulte and Julian Valadez. Shotgun starter in the field is going to be A.J. Hunsinger. Oh, wow. 50 laps the distance here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. So a long race at this half-mile racetrack. Not really a long race, but longer than what per usual with the League of Outlaws. Looks like all the cars going to begin to roll here. Well, I think we're going to roll right into the segment that Tim looks forward to each and every time we call a race.
Oh my God.
Is who are you, Tim, going to be keeping your eye on here tonight?
Man, the last couple broadcasts, I keep saying I'm gonna step my game up, and I'm lacking here. You wonder why nobody gives you a cheat sheet.
Right? Yeah, that must be why I don't get cheat sheets, huh?
Yeah, it must be. I'm gonna keep my eye on that number 1 machine of Jared Murphy.
I'd say that's a really good pick for sure. You know, I'm going to have to go with James Murphy. You know, he shows speed here when these IMCA style modifieds week in and week out. He's mired back there in 10th. We'll watch him work his way forward here in these 50 laps at Bristol. Field works through 3 and 4. Joshua Dyer is going to be in control. Green flag goes in the air. We're ready to rock and roll for 50 laps here at Bristol Dirt. Battius and Murtaugh side by side. Murtaugh gets a little tap from Jared Murphy from behind. Battius, a good run out of turn number 2. He leveled himself with Dyer down the back straightaway. Out of turn 4, he's going to just take the lead into turn 1. Pridgeon, be careful. Pridgeon missed the entry to turn 1, and that car slid up the hill. Trevor Williams and Jared Murphy and Richard Murtaugh worked by. Look at the number 65 machine trying to make up some ground on the inside. Pridgeon struggling a little bit more. He slides back to 9th now, as that car's not able to get into the corner. Missed the cushion once again. So Bridgen struggling mightily here on the start. Murphy brothers side by side for 5th. Go ahead, Tim.
Where did James Murphy come from? All the way from the back. Already finds himself in the top 5.
Absolutely. Trevor Williams is rolling the outside. He passes Joshua Dyer for 2nd. He's right on the bumper of Donnie Battiest out of turn 4. As they begin to work lap number 5. Almost a 3-car battle for 3rd. Dyer has been caught by the Murphy brothers, and he gets some help from behind from Jared down the back straightaway. Dyer misses the entry. Murtaugh slides through big time, makes contact with Pridgeon. My goodness, it's going to be 3 wide behind with Doyle. I believe that's Halliday and Pridgeon. Awesome action so far here tonight in this feature. And we're just about ready to complete 6 laps.
Boy, Matt Pridgeon, watch out. They kept it straight. I can't believe they did that.
33 just jumped over the cushion. Maybe was a little tight through 1 and 2. That allows Tucker Halliday to stick his nose underneath of that number 33 machine. Thomas Levister trying to slowly work his way forward. He's now battling hard on the outside of Josh Dyer. He might complete that pass down the back straightaway and does, getting into turn 3. Jared's trying to make a move to the inside of Donnie. Nothing doing there. Going to settle back in on the outside. Trevor Williams leading the way and trying to stretch that advantage. He's out to a half second over Donnie and Jared. Quickly through the field as we're going to be 3 wide here. Murtaugh, Pridgeon, and Halliday. Halliday with the advantage down the front straightaway. Murtaugh back down on the bottom, Pridgeon on the outside, Trevor Doyle right there to pounce if anything was to happen. Quick check, Aiden Schultes running 11th, AJ Hunsinger in 12th, Julian Valadez in 13th. Tell you what, they're not too far ahead of race leader Trevor Williams, so he's going to get into some lap traffic here, it looks like, before this is said and done.
I just want to thank these drivers for wearing these bright colored gloves. You can really see Jared's gloves in the race car, just going to work, as I should say. You know, very smooth inputs.
Absolutely. Jared's been hounding Donnie on the inside, just have not been able to complete that pass, but Brother James now looking to the inside. He says, well, if you're not able to pass him, let me give it a shot on the inside. He's not able to complete the pass on his brother that time. Just a little further back, Thomas Levister, solo 5th. 6th is Tucker Halliday. 7th, Matt Pridgeon. 8th is Richard Murtaugh, who's right on the bumper of Pridgeon. Almost contact out of turn 4. Murtaugh turns it underneath of him. Lets that car slide up in the middle of 1 and 2. Pridgeon's going to try to turn it back underneath of him and maybe repay him the favor as they enter turn 3. Not quite this time. Murtaugh, more contact with Murtaugh and Pridgeon. Gotta be careful. As Dyer finds himself now back in 9th, losing 8 spots from his starting position. I'll tell you what, though, the battle for the lead is starting to heat up. Donnie Battius is just 0.3 of a second behind Trevor Williams. Jared Murphy's right there, and Brother James. So we are going to have a 4-way battle for the lead. All 4 cars within 1 second of one another. Julian Valadez brought that car into the pit lane for service.
Yeah, I think he just got out of the way of the leaders. Great sportsmanship shown.
Absolutely. Top 4 cars, single file, all choosing to run up near the cushion. As I say that, both the Murphy brothers down on the inside, trying to make something happen. Our top four has, well, a little over 2 seconds back to Richard Murtaugh, who's followed closely by Matt Bridgen and Joshua Dyer. Thomas Levester battling for the 7th position. Man, it's these drivers, you got to hit the cushion line just right or your car wants to shoot up the hill into the wall. As Dyer's trying to make up a couple of lost spots as he tries to turn it underneath Levester. Not quite there. Tried again here in 1 and 2. Just seems like that outside line, Tim, gets a good run out of the corners.
Yeah, it does. I'm surprised it's not as slick as, you know, the middle. I mean, there's grip on the bottom, but it's one lane, maybe half lane, and you gotta hit that line extremely perfect to run down there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, now Trevor Williams has slowly been able to increase that gap back to Donnie Battiest. It's about 3/4 of a second. Jared and James Murphy both still within striking distance of Donnie Battiest. Richard Murtaugh holding steady in 5th, 3.7 seconds behind Trevor Williams. Matt Pridgeon, Thomas Levester, Josh Dyer, excuse me. Oh my, Thomas Levester, Josh Dyer, both with an issue in the middle of 1 and 2. Both cars really slow. So they lose a little bit of time to Matt Pridgeon. Slide on back. Go ahead.
I was going to say 25 down, 25 to go.
Yeah, we are halfway. Matt Pridgeon scraping the wall just a little bit. He settles back into the clutches now of Thomas Levester and Josh Dyer. Trevor Doyle quietly in 9th. Tucker Halliday in 10th.
Oh. Donnie into the wall a little bit, allowing Jared to get a run on him. I don't know if it's going to stick down there, Jared. We'll see. James Murphy's going to get the launch out of the corner. Makes the pass on his brother.
James has started to move up to the outside. He was running the bottom for half of this 50-lap feature. He's now decided to move up to the outside. He's going to see if he can get a run on that number 67 machine. '67 a little loose out of turn 2. James with a big time slider through 3 and 4. He's going to complete the pass. Donnie's going to try to turn it underneath of him. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it. Yeah, through 2. Donnie's holding on strong, but nothing out of turn 2. So Donnie's going to settle back into 3rd, but not for long because he's under fire from the other Murphy brother, and that's going to be Jared, as they're going to be side by side down the front straightaway. Jared going to throw a little bit of a slider himself across the nose of the 67, move Jared into 3rd, move Donnie back to 4th. I'd tell you, James Murphy is coming hot and heavy, just 1/4 of a second separate him and the race leader Trevor Williams.
Well, Jared must have thought, well, if my brother can do it, I can do it better.
Absolutely. James Murphy all over the rear bumper of Trevor Williams. James going to dive it down hard through 1 and 2. Not going to be able to slide up because Trevor holds strong on the outside.
This is what Jared and Donnie needs. They need these two leaders to battle extremely hard for these positions so that they can start closing this gap even more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think James is just trying to get a little bit of a run to try to make his move on that 57. He's going to follow him through once again around the outside. Oh, the 57 a little bit loose. James has to jump out of the throttle to keep from running him over as the 57 taps the outside wall. Like you said, Jared is just ever so slightly inching his way closer to our front two. Richard Murtaugh has already moved by Donnie Battiest in the 67 as he is putting together some really good lap times. He's been the fastest car on the racetrack the past few laps. He's trying to make his way. He's about 1.5 seconds behind Trevor Williams, but he is coming and in a hurry.
James looking to the inside, way down to the bottom.
Oh, he almost
Not
was able
enough.
to. Yeah, almost. It was really, really close. I think he might have been doing a good driver
he's
thing.
Gonna do it here, Trevor.
Oh, they make
Crossover
contact. My goodness. Trevor Williams, James Murphy make contact. And now Jared is right there as well as Richard Murtaugh. Murtaugh around the outside of Jared. He's going to be looking to the inside of Trevor Williams. Trevor makes contact with the outside wall.
One's in the wall.
Murtaugh still in the wall, just a little bit out of turn two. He's only 7/10 of a second behind James Murphy. Trevor Williams now in third, and our first yellow flag of the night with just 10 laps to go.
Looks like a blown engine. Maybe some heavy contact on the front.
He was battling with Josh Dyer. They slapped out of turn two, and Pridgeon's car just jumped sideways and turned right into the outside wall down the back straightaway. And that engine has expired on the number 14 machine.
Wow.
Man, I tell you, what a battle we've had up front. We've seen, the 57 machine of Trevor Williams led quite a bit. James Murphy kind of was biding at times, saving some tire. He works his way up to the race lead now. And Richard Murtaugh fell back a few spots early, but now he's right there, going to be able to challenge for the win as well. Can't count out Jared or Donnie Battiest either. There you round out the top five.
I believe this will be a single file restart if I'm correct.
We're right on that borderline, Tim, of 11 or about 10 laps to go, so. I'll tell you what, I think James has got to hit his marks because the 33 shown the last 10 laps or so, he was the fastest car on the racetrack. But he's got to work his way around the 57 machine of Trevor Williams before he's able to challenge James Murphy for the lead. We will go double file. James is going to elect to take the outside. How about you bring us to the restart here, Tim?
All right. James Murphy leads. Trevor Williams, Jared Murphy, and Richard Murtaugh. I believe those two are flipped in position. They're just getting ready. And James launches. He gets a great launch. 3 wide almost for second. Yeah. Jared's on the outside all the way to the top. Williams in the middle. And Murtaugh way down low. Still 3 wide out of the exit of 2. Jared looks like he takes over as Murtaugh slides all the way up to the top. Side by side, crossover. Jared Murphy to the
There's
inside
catastrophe
now.
into turn one, Tim. A bunch of cars piled up. Josh Dyer, Trevor Williams, Aiden Schulte, Tucker Halliday. A bunch of them got turned around as the 67 of Donnie Battius made contact with one car down the front straightaway. Go back and take a look at this. You're going to see here as we slow it down, Thomas Levister clips Donnie Battius in the right rear. Battius turns into the 57, makes contact with the 16 as well. Trevor Doyle runs into the back of Levister, AJ Hunsinger, Josh Dyer. Hunsinger nowhere to go, gets run over from behind from Dyer. Aiden Schulte trying to miss it all. He makes contact with Hunsinger. So a good 5 or 6 cars involved with damage in this incident.
What else can I say besides yellow breeds yellows?
Yeah, unfortunately that they do. I tell you what, Richard Murtaugh's now going to restart alongside James Murphy. I think we were going to have a crazy finish on our hands. Jared is going to restart in third. Tucker Halliday is going to be fourth.
Well, this restart should certainly be single file.
Yes, Tim, you are correct. We are going to have 9 to go when we go back green. Julian Valadez has called it an evening. Matt Pridgeon and Josh Dyer are on the pit lane for, well, they've been on there for an extended amount of time. So that leaves 10 cars running on the racetrack, as well as AJ Hunsinger in the pit lane. So 9 cars running on the racetrack. Also to note for everybody at home, these races are, with the League of Outlaws, are a pay to enter, and there is a payout to the top 5. Just a little bit of money on the line for the top 5, so just always an interesting piece of information. You know, I think the racing is always a little different when there's a little bit of money on the line, regardless of the amount. Lights go out on the pace truck. That means we're going to go back to green flag racing.
Well, I'm certainly glad you said that, because I was way behind on my end.
Well, that's what I'm here for, Tim. Pace truck peels off. James Murphy accelerates. We're back underway. Now going to be 8 laps to go. What can Richard Murtaugh and Jared Murphy do with James? Trevor Doyle makes some contact with the outside wall. Side by side, Aiden Schulte underneath the 57 of Trevor Williams. AJ Hunsinger underneath the 67 of Donnie Battius. Those cars still side by side through 3 and 4. 3 wide, Schulte almost across the nose of Hunsinger. They settle it out for the moment being. Murtaugh's all over the rear bumper of James Murphy. A little bit of contact is made. Murtaugh into the back of James Murphy down the front stretch. Murtaugh with a big time slider across the nose of James Murphy through 1 and 2. Murphy's going to turn it back underneath of him. Drag race down the back straightaway. Murphy going to throw a big-time slider of his own through 3 and 4. He makes contact with the outside wall. Drag racing again down the front straightaway. Murtaugh is going to do a slider of his own. He does, and they're going to drag race down the back straightaway. What a battle for the race lead.
He doesn't allow James Murphy to get that slide on the entry.
Murtaugh takes over the race lead, just 4 laps to go. James Murphy that is, trying to reel him back in. He closes the gap entering turn 3. They've put a little bit of a gap back to Jared Murphy. He's sitting currently in 3rd. Levister trying to get up to him, but Levister brushes the wall. Has to gather that race car back in. Now to turn 4, just 2 laps to go. A half a second between Richard Murtaugh and James Murphy. White flag goes in the air. Murtaugh going to be defensive into 3. Clips the bottom, lets that car slide up. Out of turn 4, Richard Murtaugh goes back-to-back to start the season out with the League of Outlaws. James Murphy's going to bring it home 2nd. Jared 3rd. We'll get a word in with our top 3 in just a moment. They're going to bring it down onto the front straightaway for a picture, and we'll go over the final results with you guys. All right. We already talked about the top 3. 4th's going to get credited to Thomas Levister. 5th to Trevor Doyle. 6th is going to go to Donnie Battia. 7th to Trevor Williams. 8th is going to go to A.J. Hunsinger. 9th is going to go to Aiden Schulte. 10th to Tucker Halliday. 11th to Joshua Dyer. 12th to Matt Pridgeon. And 13th to Julian Valadez. Get to talk to our top 3. We're going to start off tonight talking to Jared Murphy. Hey, Jared, it's Tyler and Tim in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. You bring that car home in 3rd. You improved a couple spots from your starting position in the feature. Tell us a little bit about getting around the Bristol Motor Speedway, and it looks like tires did come into play late in the going.
Yeah, I missed it a little bit in qualifying, so put me in the back of mid-pack of a heat race. I was faster than in the heat race. I just couldn't get around them. So in the main event, yeah, I was kind of to hell with tires and just went for it. It definitely caught up to me at the end of that race. I was struggling for tires.
Yeah, absolutely. But a good solid run coming home 3rd tonight. Tim, you have anything to ask Jared?
Yeah, Jared, solid running for you tonight. How difficult was this track, and how well prepared were you to take on Bristol?
I did quite a bit of practice in here to help with the setup wise, but yeah, this track is tricky. If you miss it just about a little bit, it'll push and just get hard to turn. But other than that, it puts on some pretty decent racing. We went with 40 green flag last time we had a caution. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good to watch up here in the booth. No doubt about that. Well, Jared, before we let you go, who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank y'all for broadcasting it, the League of Outlaws for everything they do, Talking Dirt, A.J. Hunsinger for the rap. And that's about it.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on finishing 3rd once again. We'll let you celebrate it.
Thank y'all.
That was our 3rd place finisher, Jared Murphy. Now we'll get to talk to his brother, James. Hey, James, it's Tyler and Tim in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, heck of a battle for you tonight. You know, we saw the struggles in the heat race and had to start about, 10th there for the feature. You worked your way up all the way to the race lead, and you bring it home in 2nd. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, had it didn't go the best in the heat race, and I decided to go ahead and park it and save it for the main event. And I knew it was going to be hard to get through there, and so I paced myself for a little while, and then I kind of stalled out, and so I had to do something. So I think I moved up too early and burned my tires off of it. So I didn't have the tires at the end of the race with Richard.
Yeah, absolutely. But a hard-fought battle tonight as you worked your way through the feature. Tim, you have anything to ask James?
Yeah, James. 10th to first for a little while. You come bring it home in second. You think you could have held off Murtaugh at any point, and what would you have done different?
No, I think it would have been close if we didn't have those cautions right there. But I think he still had better tire. He would have came around. He's a good driver and all. So like I said, I burned my tires off trying to come through the field. So I'll take second.
Absolutely, James. Well, before we let you go, who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank y'all for broadcasting it, and the League of Outlaws for putting it on, and AJ Hunsinger with the rap and talking dirt.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations coming home second. We'll let you celebrate it.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
All right, now we get to talk to our winner here tonight, Mr. Richard Murtaugh. Hey, Richard. Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
All right, man. Well, what a night for you tonight. I know early on you saved a little bit of tire. You lost a few spots to start, but you battled your way back through the field, was the fastest car in the closing laps, and you bring home the victory here tonight.
Yeah, it kind of the same strategy we had for the spring nationals last week. Just kind of save our stuff and be there at the end. Started getting a little nervous. It was just I was catching them about 2/10 a lap at a time, and wasn't really closing in on them as fast as I was hoping, and was watching the laps count down, and ended up getting to them, and then was in second, and the yellow flew there, and it moved me back to third. So just kind of kept having to make moves that I really didn't like to make there, just to kind of gain position there in the final closing laps. That was what kind of saved me.
Absolutely. Well, Richard, or excuse me, Tim, you have anything to ask Richard?
Yeah, awesome racing with you and James. Uh, how well was the track conditioned for your style of racing, and how much time did you put in to learning?
So this track, not really my kind of track. I don't really like running the top too much. I like running the bottom, more technical, just kind of rolling the bottom, making moves when I can type deal. Where this track, we were wide open like the whole race, just kind of hanging on, trying to not push tight into the wall and wreck ourselves. So that was kind of the biggest thing all night, was just staying clean, not wrecking the right front off the car. Seemed like every one of my teammates all did that, except me. So it was definitely a very unique track with the setup. It was kept bottoming out the right front, but as far as practice, I really didn't do much. I did a 50 lap run just to kind of see how the race would play out as far as tire wear, fuel, and all that stuff. And then I did probably like 2 laps in their practice race earlier, and then I wrecked out. So not too much practice, but I put a ton of time in last week for the spring nationals, so still pretty fresh off that.
Yeah, absolutely. Back-to-back wins for you here to start the season with the League of Outlaws. Before we let you go, who would you like to thank?
Oh, I gotta start out with all the guys back at Premier Racing Setups for all the help. It pretty much these guys have been helping me, give me advice and stuff, just kind of keeping my head straight and me pointed in the right direction. Especially Kyle, Danny, Josh, Tucker, all them guys. Rocket Racing Graphics, 180 Flood Drive Properties, RMR Racing, Unrivaled Cinematography, VP Racing Fuels, Stagger Media Co. Two Fat Guys, Sim Racing Promotions. Gotta give a huge shout out to all the admins and you guys for putting this on.
Absolutely, we certainly appreciate it. Well, congratulations on the back-to-back victories. We'll let you celebrate it.
Thank you.
And that was our race winner tonight, Richard Murtaugh. Well, as we start to wrap things up here from Bristol Motor Speedway, any closing thoughts from you tonight, Tim?
Yeah, just a fantastic race. I thought for sure the bottom would be played in a little bit more late. Boy, was I wrong. Still great race though. Lots of passing. Awesome show.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic again tonight with the League of Outlaws and here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Great battle in the closing laps for the victory. Richard Murtaugh going back to back here in the series. Couldn't ask for much better for us tonight on BRN. Well, upcoming for us tomorrow night, we're going to be live at 9 o'clock Eastern Time with Regal Promotions Esports, their winged 360 sprint car division. It's going to be the admin box night at the Williams Grove Speedway, so definitely come check that series out. And again, on Tuesday and on Thursday, it's going to be the short track Rivals Racing Series. The fixed 358's going to be on Tuesday night, and the Open Pro Late Models on Thursday night. So we got those 3 races upcoming. And of course, next Sunday we'll be live right back here on the Buckeye Racing Network. Not at Bristol, but we will be with the League of Outlaws. I'll have to double check the schedule, but we'll be live at 9 o'clock Eastern Time for race number 3 with the League of Outlaws. That's going to do it for us tonight from the Bristol Motor Speedway. For Tim Henderson, I'm Tyler Bentley. Good night.